Welcome back to another Tropics from Isaias update here. We now have hurricane warnings and state of emergencies for portions of the Carolinas now. So we have hurricane warnings for the coastal areas all the way from the Myrtle Beach area up to Wilmington, and a lot of eastern South Carolina and that general southern coast of North Carolina are under hurricane warnings. Expect 3 to 5 foot storm surge and 75 plus miles an hour here. So we are expecting to have a Hurricane Isaias as it makes landfall in the Carolinas between South Carolina or North Carolina, if not right on the border. So if you're near any of those areas in the border, or the South Carolina or the Carolinas in general, you definitely want to be the lookout now, as this could definitely start to be strengthening here. We are having this run to get a lot organized. We have major updates on the tracks and all that. Also, state of emergencies have been issued for Virginia, North Carolina, and I believe South Carolina as well. And also, mandatory evacuations have also been issued for portions of the Carolinas that are mainly on the coast as well. Storm surge, rip currents, winds, flooding, all that, the winds, everything is going to be a very big threat when it comes to the storm, and all that combined will make the storm a lot more potentially dangerous. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new and hit the post notification icon. Without further ado, to the tropical forecast. Here's a look now at the National Hurricane Center. They still have Invest 94L at a 60% chance in the 11 o'clock update and a 40% chance for the next 48 hours. But that's not what we're really looking at today. Here we got tropics from Isaias now going up the coast there, bringing some big impacts for Jacksonville, big impact for the Great Barrier Islands for Georgia, starting to bring some scattered rain showers already for portions of Charleston, and this thing is not going to expected to make landfall until really late tonight or really early tomorrow morning, like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. That's when we kind of expect a landfall, but it can be early as landfall as 11 p.m. really today. So it's really weird to think this landfall is so close from now, but there it is at 70 miles an hour. So this thing has a decent amount of time to strengthen. Let's just say that possibly 80 plus miles an hour. I wouldn't doubt this becomes like 80 miles an hour before landfall. But there we got Isaias. National Hurricane Center does expect it to make landfall at 75 miles an hour, but I think it could be a bit stronger than that. But there we go, moving north at 13 miles an hour. So you can definitely tell it's strengthening, organizing, because it's going straight up north and going up the coast of Florida. We have tropical storm warnings for areas of northern Florida and Georgia, but I do expect this to actually get erased or reversed as we get in the afternoon hours, as the storm does get closer to the Carolinas and further away from Georgia and Florida. But expect a 1 to 3 foot storm surge for areas of Savannah, Jacksonville. You guys are not out of the picture there, but the worst of the storm surge, obviously the worst of the threat will be for South Carolina and North Carolina. Even Virginia, you guys are at a state of emergency. So you guys are getting impacted really hard up there in Virginia. Even all the way up to Maine will get impacted. All the way up to Maine, we have tropical storm watches. Quite crazy. It's the first time we've had tropical storm watches in those areas in the New England area for over 2 years. Oh, sorry, not 2 years, 10 years, sorry. But there we got at 13 miles an hour, has weakened to 998 millibars. So obviously it's not straight. It's not really, I would say, rapidly intensifying right now. We're intensifying right now, but it will start to intensify as it does get through the really warm waters. We have extremely warm waters off the coast of South Carolina there, and it's going to start really organizing, closing up this low pressure 100%, even more than that, having these eye walls very well defined. So this could storm a couple hours, and maybe by 2 o'clock this could expect to be maybe a hurricane. I did expect it to be a hurricane by 11 a.m., but obviously that did not happen. Let's go and check out now at IR Loop. Here's now a look at the visible IR satellite here. Let's go and check it, refresh this. As you see, the storm kind of did a teeny little convection, but there it is now finding a new center right there. So we are having a lot of outer bands in the northern part of the storm. So this is actually the center, believe it or not. This is actually the center, but these are the outer bands. So we're already having some very widespread northern outer bands, which is exactly why we're going to be seeing some really big flooding threats here, because we're going to be seeing all these outer bands bringing extremely heavy rain from now on until this eye makes landfall, possibly very late tonight, if not early tomorrow morning. So this is going to bring hours of unnecessary rain, and we're going to really see these conditions really diminishing. These conditions will really rapidly just diminish, and it's going to really not look super good at whatsoever. It's really going to diminish. The conditions are definitely going to diminish. You're going to see some stronger waves, more cloud cover. You're going to definitely feel that humidity. That's going to be going all the way up into areas of Myrtle Beach, areas near Charleston. Now going to start heading to North Carolina, those conditions. So really starting to see the little impacts there. It's really an eerie feeling when you know you're about to get hit and you're starting to see this cloud cover. When you kind of get windy, you're kind of like, oh, it's really eerie, it's really eerie. But there it is, the convection, the center of the storm, really starting to blow up once again. It kind of went down a little bit, as you can tell in the past, but now it's really making its way back up into getting quite organized. So this could very well bring in quite the conditions for Savannah, Georgia, Tybee Island, Charleston, Beaumont Bridge, North Myrtle Beach, all those areas there. As you see, the slow pressure is right, not that far off the coast of Georgia whatsoever. We kind of expected it to be like right here, but there it is, moving directly north, and then very soon should be doing a north-northeast turn, to possibly hit either the North Carolina area or hit the South Carolina area. It's going to be a very close call, but either way, it's really going to hit these areas in the Carolinas extremely, extremely hard. Here's now a look at another satellite imagery here on Visible. Let's go and check out this thing really blew up last night with convection. Look at all those convection waves right there. We really had a lot of a defined center yesterday. Look at that right there, really, really organized right there. A ton of convection overnight. Kind of died down a little bit today, but there it is, that low pressure. Let's see right there. Now developing that new eye, or that, sorry, not new eye, new convection in the circular center. So here we have that new center convection there. That's where we're having a lot of vorticity, a ton of convection there, and that's going to really create the eye wall there that we generally see, obviously, with tropical systems. But there it is, very organized. We're experiencing a lot of diminishing of visibility for portions of South Carolina. Starting to see a lot of cloud cover. North Carolina, you guys are starting to get the cloud cover as well. So really, it's going to be a really eerie feeling, having a ton of cloud cover all the way from Florida up to North Carolina because the storm's so widespread. Really, it's going to go all the way. It's going to really affect all the way from Florida to Maine. That's literally all of the East Coast. So that's incredibly a very long track storm. This came all the way off the coast of Africa, and now look where it is now. Possibly going to go up the coast of Florida, and then possibly make landfall. Maybe in North Myrtle Beach, maybe Wilmington, maybe right on the border. So really got to watch out. If you're anywhere right here, oh my gosh, I don't know why it's moving. If you're anywhere right here, oh my gosh, I don't know why this thing's not working. But if you know anywhere right here, you definitely want to be on the lookout there, as it can bring in some really harsh conditions and obviously hurricane conditions. Here's the new National Hurricane Center. They just updated it there. There we got the hurricane right before landfall. So that's 8 a.m. tomorrow. So this is going to make landfall possibly by as early as tonight. And the cone should be directly going right over North Myrtle Beach, if not right on the border with North Carolina. So really monitoring that very closely. As you see, that tropical storm force Nixon have really gone a lot bigger. We saw how it died down right before affecting Florida, and that's where we thought it was going to bust, or that's where many people thought it was going to bust. But Isaias is really impressing us, and I really had a chance with Isaias. I thought the Gulf Stream is really going to do a lot to this, and look where it is now. We got hurricane warnings for areas for Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. They're in the red. So as you see, a lot of the eastern coast of North Carolina and a lot of the northeastern coast of South Carolina is now under hurricane warning. So you are very well likely to see hurricane conditions. And then look at this. We now just updated now. So now we got tropical storm warnings as far down as the central Georgia coast. So Florida, you guys are no longer under tropical storms like I did expect. I think I just said that right in the beginning of the video. I said that without knowing it, and now I just refreshed. So there we go, Savannah, Georgia, you guys still under tropical storm warning. And then these tropical storm warnings go as far as the Boston area. So Boston, you guys are under a tropical storm warning. We have not had tropical storm warnings in these areas since the past, 9-10 years. It's really crazy. Now we have tropical storm watches for Maine. I don't think that's happened in quite a while, over a decade. So this is quite incredible. We can see a tropical storm in Canada, guys. In Canada, that's absolutely mental. This is showing you how the storm really won't weaken much over land whatsoever because it's moving so incredibly fast. It's possibly going to go right over the tri-state area. We have tropical storm warnings for Atlantic City, areas near the Oceanic City, Baltimore, Cape Hatteras. We have tropical storm warnings for Raleigh as well, Washington, D.C., you guys are under a not tornado warning, I believe tropical storm watch. New York City, New York, you guys are under tropical storm warnings. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, you guys are all under tropical storm warnings. This is basically impacting the whole East Coast from Miami all the way up to possibly Bangor. We're missing conditions from the storm. That's absolutely mental, affecting 50 plus million people. Here's now later and zoomed in. This is the new update. As you see, let me refresh this. As you see now, we don't have tropical storm warnings anymore for Florida. We do have tropical storm warnings though for the coast there. We do have tropical storm warnings off the coast of Florida, but no longer inland. But there we got Savannah still under tropical storm warning. Look at that. Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, you guys are the biggest cities under these hurricane warnings. No longer hurricane watches anymore. Hurricane warnings. So that's when you really want to evacuate. And we're going to have mandatory evacuations in these hurricane warnings. We've had 2,000 cars already sent out and ships so people could evacuate really. I believe that was off the coast of Oak Island in North Carolina. Cape Hatteras, Raleigh, you guys are under a tropical storm warning now. I've actually known people who live in Raleigh. You guys are right on the edge though. Atlantic City, you guys are under a tornado warning. Not tornado. Why am I saying tornado warning? Tropical storm warning. All basically from Georgia to Massachusetts, we have tropical storm warnings really, including big cities like New York City. All of Delaware's under a tropical storm warning. All of New Jersey, all of Rhode Island. Really almost all of Maryland, almost all of Connecticut. We have so many people under tropical storm warnings. If not only that, tropical storm alert. Whether it's hurricane warning, hurricane watch, tropical storm warning, tropical storm watch. We have all of New Hampshire under a tropical storm watch. That is so weird to think that let's say you live in Concord, you look up the Weather Channel, it says tropical storm watch. That has not happened in so long. It has not happened in so long. Not only that, it's happening in early August, basically almost July, which is also way less likely to happen. This is super rare to happen. Not only is it super rare to happen in general in the New England area, it's also happening in really the early part of the season. Really extremely rare to see this. There, Boston, Providence, you guys are all under tropical storm warning because you guys could expect over 40, if not 50 miles an hour there. Extremely crazy. Let's check out the storm surge now, updated now to 3 to 5 feet. 3 to 5 foot storm surge. That 5 foot storm surge, is easily gonna pick up a car. Easily can. I'm 5'3". That's basically over me, really. So if you're a young viewer and you live anywhere here, you definitely want to really watch out because 35 foot storm surge. That's quite dangerous. That's when it really gets dangerous. Any type of storm surge is dangerous. If you really think about it. But 3 to 5 foot storm surge is out of the ordinary. Not out of ordinary. Out of the picture for being dangerous. This is by far extremely dangerous. 3 to 5 foot storm surge. It may not be super deadly, but it's definitely dangerous. Could get inside your house. Obviously, could pick up a car. You definitely want to evacuate. We actually have mandatory evacuation. So if you're really living in these areas that have 3 to 5 foot storm surge, from this 3 to 5 foot storm surge includes all the way from South Santee River to Cape Fear. That's including Wilmington. That's including North Myrtle Beach in general. We also have 1 to 3 foot storm surge still for the areas of Savannah, including the Savannah River, and 1 to 3 foot storm surge for areas near Charleston. And then we have 2 to 4 storm surge all the way from Cape Fear to North Carolina Virginia border to areas up at the Maryland Bay. Maryland Bay, guys. We're going to be seeing up to 2 to 4 foot storm surge for Virginia, for Maryland, for Delaware. That's crazy, guys, to say that. Possibly 1 to 3 foot storm surge for these areas, in the areas of Virginia, Maryland. I apologize if you guys see me itching my arm. I have a mosquito bite. And then look, 1 to 3 foot storm surge from Delaware all the way up to Massachusetts near the Martha's Vineyard up into Massachusetts. That's crazy to have 1 to 3 foot storm surge for areas in the New England area. This is like not a nor'easter. This is a tropical storm, soon to be hurricane. If this becomes a hurricane like expected, if not a little stronger, maybe 80 miles an hour instead of 75, that's really going to really increase the possibilities for threats, not only for the Carolinas, but all the way up into the areas of Canada. Canada can get impacted by this a lot, depending on the new update. All right, as you see, let's check out the new shift. A lot of the models now should be making landfall right on the border of the Carolinas, like literally right on the border. So really, North Carolina, South Carolina, basically, it's a fight for who's gonna get the direct landfall. It literally might make landfall right on the borders. So you can just say made landfall literally on the Carolinas. That's gonna go right over Raleigh, right over Virginia Beach, and they're going to go right over areas in northern Delaware and go up areas near the New England area. As you see, it's going to impact areas like Pennsylvania, impact New Jersey, impact areas as far as Albany, Burlington, New Hampshire, areas near Maine. You guys are definitely going to get impacted. This is a very ordinary track. This is very ordinary, but this isn't the most normal track. Let's just say that this does not happen every year, every 3 years, not even every 5 years, because we have not had tropical storm watches or warnings in these areas in the New England area in over 9 to 10 years. Here are the new tracks here on this other track guidance. As you see, they do show it possibly making landfall more towards South Carolina, including Myrtle Beach, maybe North Myrtle Beach, if not right on the border with North Carolina, and then go right past Raleigh, go straight over eastern Virginia, the coastal areas of Virginia, right over Delaware, and then to New Jersey, and then gonna go into Vermont and New Hampshire, and maybe go into Maine, and then go all the way up into the areas of Canada. Let's check out this new guidance here in track wise. As you see, they should possibly making landfall by the next 24 hours. That'll probably be more like 18 to 24 hours, because it could make landfall as early as very late tonight, like 11 o'clock tonight there. Maybe I could do like a time lapse of this storm making landfall. That'd be pretty interesting, right? That'd be pretty interesting to see if I do not a time lapse, but just a general video of it making landfall there. But as you see, there it is. This storm possibly making landfall either in North Carolina or South Carolina. I cannot tell you with full confidence. I don't know. I kind of feel like this would be more of a North Carolina storm. Obviously, I can't go off of feeling, but it's going to be possibly like right on the border. So no matter where, if it's a 5-mile difference, we're still going to be seeing big impacts. So either way, if you live in Myrtle Beach and you may not see the direct landfall, you're still going to be seeing almost the exact same conditions. So do not put that on your head that if you're not going to get a landfall, that you don't have to watch out, because you're literally under a tropical, or not only that, you're under a hurricane warning, 3 to 5 foot storm surge, possibly well over 15-foot waves. So yeah, what else can you bring? Really, flooding, possibly over 8 inches of rain. Add that all up, maybe you can see 6 to 7 feet of rain. It's not 6 to 7 feet of water over these areas. We don't know if these the buoys will do anything. We don't know if the sand dunes will do anything, really. So we'll just have to see exactly. But let's go and check out now all the models. All right, here's another look at the GFS model. Remember how they showed it only making landfall at 995 millibars? Well, look at this. Look at the next coming hours. It's already going to be at 992 hours by the next coming hours. That's already a huge improvement. I told you it's not going to make landfall at 995. I actually think that icon is definitely on the something. I'll show you guys the icon after this. But GFS is making landfall at 985 millibars, possibly right on the border of the Carolinas. Going to bring really heavy rain no matter what for Charleston, for areas near Savannah, areas near Wilmington, and they're going to go right over areas of Raleigh, and then affect portions of the New England area there, and possibly go over Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and that's going to really affect areas of the New England area. Check out the icon. I think the icon, well, this is actually the new update, so actually I don't know what the icon's showing. Oh, wow. They show it being at 981 millibars for the next, 2 hours? Let me actually see. 3 hours. Sorry, that's not really a big difference. But icon should be by the next update, which is 2 o'clock, 981 millibars. That is quite the interesting, and they should be making landfall at 980 millibars. Okay, I'm not saying I agree with the icon saying it's gonna be at 981 by the next update. I am saying though, I think this thing could definitely make landfall at 980 instead of 986. I think this is definitely going to be a lower number than the GFS is saying. As you see, making landfall right over Wilmington. Icon is making landfall near Wilmington and North Carolina, and the GFS is making landfall kind of more towards North Myrtle Beach, if not right on the border. I think Icon definitely has a lot of reasoning. Let's check out now the European model, shall we? There it is, vorticity. Oh, wow, look at that side of the storm there. As you see, it's going to be a huge jump and possibly just make landfall. I don't know why I think it's like speeding, bro. I think it's going so fast. But there it is, making landfall possibly between the Carolina borders. And let's check out the last but not least, the CMC. I have not checked the CMC, I said, whatsoever. As you see, CMC, wow, CMC is just so weak at making landfall at 996 millibars. So that's CMC I do not agree with. But let's check out now other models that are agreeing on the wind-wise. Here's now a look at the NCEP GFS model. As you see, they do show now the next coming hours possibly seeing 66 knots. So that's 76 miles an hour. Obviously, that's showing really possibly getting to Cat 1 force winds very soon. Then it gets to possibly bringing in maybe 87 miles an hour here before landfall. This is actually in miles an hour here. So this is possibly very soon to make landfall. This is 15 hours. In the next 18 hours, making a landfall for portions of South Carolina. They actually is making landfall right basically over Myrtle Beach, the eye right there at possibly 91 miles an hour. That's a big jump compared to other models. They're showing a 91 miles an hour bike making landfall and then affecting the eastern coast there. Very, very interesting to watch out for. Now let's check out now as well the HRRR as well. See what the HRRR has to say. Next 6 hours, they do show it possibly being maybe at possibly 80 miles an hour by the next 6 hours. So that's very interesting there. And then HRRR does show it possibly getting it to 83 miles an hour, maybe even 89 miles an hour right before hitting areas of South Carolina. As you see, boom, right over North Myrtle Beach there, HRRR at maybe 83, 85 miles an hour. And that's going to really affect portions of North Carolina. Let's go check out now also what the HRRR V3 shows. This is actually wind gust. So this is actually not 10, this is 10-meter wind gust. So this is wind gust. So not like winds, but like obviously with the gust. So this is not like the real wind. But it shows HRRR V3 on 10-meter wind gust, which is obviously the wind gust, not real winds, at 96 miles an hour there in the next coming hours. And then the gust can possibly be as high as 95 miles an hour right before making landfall. It's just possibly 91 miles an hour, 94 miles an hour, even almost 100 miles an hour in wind gusts as it possibly makes landfall right over the border of the Carolinas. And that's going to really impact portions of the Carolinas a lot. That's going to really devastate the coast of the Carolinas because they're not really used to things like that this early at all. They just saw Florence 2 years ago. So really something to really watch out for. Let's actually check out if we can actually check out here. Actually check out the HRRR. Let's do a GFS model. Let's do the whole coast here, the whole East Coast. See what it shows for the whole East Coast there. As you see, boom, hitting portion of the North Carolina area around possibly 80 miles an hour. It says like 77.4 miles an hour. So basically almost 80 miles an hour. And then possibly brings in maybe very well up to 60 miles an hour, if not 65 miles an hour for portions of New Jersey, Delaware, and they're going to possibly bring in very well up to 46 to 50 miles an hour for portions of the New England area. Check out now what the European has to say on that as well. If this actually reloads, there it is. So as you see, GFS really going to impact these areas. Let's actually go to the, it's so hard to see because these numbers here. Let's check out the East Coast. Yes, check out, no, it's actually, let's check out here the Mid-Atlantic, shall we? All right, Mid-Atlantic, this should possibly bring in possibly 73 miles an hour for portions of Virginia Beach. That's the European model on 10-meter winds. So this is a big threat there and possibly going to bring quite the strong winds. Very well could possibly see tropical storm force winds for portions of the New England area. So really going to be something to watch out for. Here's now precipitation. This is on the European total precipitation. As you see, going to possibly see up to 10 inches of rain for these areas right off the coast. And then look at this cone. You can just kind of tell where this cone is by precipitation. Just look at this cone. You can just tell where it's going to go based on the precipitation. So like this. That's basically where it's going to go because of precipitation. It's kind of what I like looking at precipitation for tropical systems, because you can just tell the cone where it's going to go. As you see, for areas near Myrtle Beach, we can possibly see 7 inches of rain, which is actually quite a lot, adding on 3 to 5 foot storm surge and those waves. As you see as well, possibly going to be seeing 6.5 inches for portions near Charlotte, not near Charlotte, sorry, for eastern North Carolina, areas near Wilmington, you guys can be seeing 4 to 6 inches of rain. Areas near Pennsylvania, there you guys can be seeing up to 6 inches of rain. And areas as far as the New England area, you guys can be seeing 3 to 3.5 inches of rain, which is actually a lot of rain for the New England area over there near the Appalachians. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'll possibly do another upload here very late tonight, right before this makes landfall, and then I'll possibly do maybe a satellite imagery time lapse, which actually be pretty cool there. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. And I very well very soon could do a who can see the snowiest fall video as well later today.